Hi everyone, I'm actually filming from my bedroom. This is my bed. This is my wall. My very busy wall. It's my axolotl tank. It's my bedroom. There's reptiles in front of me over there, but I just didn't feel like sitting on the floor and filming in front of them. I actually just wanted to pop in. I had so much feedback about my video about Nova that it was like overwhelming. I've certainly been going through it. I would say that, grief is not linear. Like yesterday, YouTube Shorts recommended a video of mine from a long time ago when I still had 2 bearded dragons, and now I have none. And that was really, really hard. I cried instantly. So yeah, I'm definitely still going through it. I wanted to pop on here because I had a lot of people who were, leaving theories or talking about what might have gone wrong with Nova. And also, I apologize if you hear any filters or bubbling in the background. This is my room where I don't normally film because there's tanks, like a lot of water tanks or polydariums. So anyways, I apologize for that. I wanted to kind of address a lot of people's questions and concerns about oh, maybe Nova passed from this, oh, maybe it was something completely out of your control. And I, of course, given the fact that I couldn't necropsy her, I really don't have any idea. But I wanted to talk about something. That way, if there are other people who are experiencing it, they know better or do better than I did. When I posted the weird black and pepper spots of Nova darkening, which was her, which was her dying. Her color was changing because she was dying. So when I posted that on Instagram, hey, does anybody know? And then of course contacted my vet. A friend of mine, Gabby, actually reached out. She said, hey, I don't know about the black, pepper flake looking spots, but these orange spots interest me because we actually have a bearded dragon at the rescue right now because Gabby runs a rescue. That we took the bearded dragon to the vet with the orange spots, and the orange spots came back as iridophore cancer. I wish I had thought more of the orange spots that were on Nova. That is completely on me for not having thought more. I've seen bearded dragons just kind of get a little bit of color here and there as they got older. Nova had a couple gray spots that were not there when she was younger, that she had when she was older, and it wasn't room for concern. I remember last year I was messaging my friend India about it, and I was like, have you ever seen anything like this? Why is she suddenly she had a few orange spots, probably 6 of them. So there was one on her head, and then there was some paler ones on her body, and then there was a really pale one on her tail, but they were orange. And for those who know, Nova was a xeromorph, so she had that white gray coloring and lack of pattern all over her body. And because of that, I want to bring this up as don't make the same mistake I did. I didn't think anything of it, and that is 100% on me. Franklin had a bunch of little speckles and spots, and it was never a concern. And I had read as bearded dragons get older, sometimes they get a couple different spots, they'll change as they get older. But I'm curious now if Nova had this iridophore pigment cancer, that would have caused the orange spots on her body. And it wasn't she had 30 of them, right? It was just there was a few. There was 6. And if I have photos, I'm pretty sure I do. I mean, I've got 12,000 photos of reptiles on my phone, so I'll have to scroll through and find them, but I'll put them on the screen. I feel bad that perhaps this is something that I just ignored, didn't pay any mind of. I didn't ignore it. I just didn't see it as significant, and I should have. I think if they were raised bumps, I would have been worried, or if they felt weird, or if they looked like they were peeling off, or they looked like a wound, I would have worried. But they were just these pale, flat, orange spots on her scale. It just looked like a regular. Franklin had an orange spot in the back of his head. I never thought anything of it. But when Gabby messaged me, she was like, well, the vet sent his out for biopsy, and it came back as a rare iridophore pigment cancer. And for those who are familiar with the lemon frost morph, the tumors that lemon frost present are an iridophore pigment tumor, iridophore pigment cancer. And I'm sure I'm not explaining this the best way medically or scientifically, but I don't have a degree in biology or a degree in any sort of veterinary medicine, so I apologize. But I wanted to come on here and address it because I feel like it's important to be honest, and I feel like when I was talking about Nova's death in the first place, there was a lot of self-blame going on for not noticing that like something was off with her, that I thought like there's no way, like if she had had cancer I would have noticed it. I'm getting a little choked up. We're not going to cry in this video. Mind over matter. Anyways, moving on. I just wanted to address that. I don't really know how to talk about it because I never had Nova tested. I didn't even know about it until the day she died. Like, I've posted tons of pictures of Nova, and like I've never seen anyone comment about like the orange spots, and I've never seen anybody have that issue on their own until, and it was just like honestly perfect timing. Gabby had just gotten the results back from the vet, so she was like fresh in her mind to notice something like that when I shared that picture of Nova, and I was shook, honestly, like. But in my mind still, especially posting the video where I was very much grieving, announcing her death, I was like, there must have been something that I did or that I didn't notice, because that's how anxiety works, right? And that very well still could be the case. I could have missed something or done something wrong, and I'm 100% like at fault in that situation if that's the case. Like, I'm not trying to push off any of the potential blame on myself. But I wanted to put this out there as like a warning for people who might have a zero morph bearded dragon or any sort of bearded dragon, because the one that Gabby had taken in was not a zero, who has noticed like a change in their appearance of their bearded dragon, particularly with like orange or vibrant new colored spots. It wasn't like it was like, it wasn't yellow fungus. It wasn't like, oh, a new coloration that's spreading over the body. It was literally just like singular spots, and it was flat on her scales. Like, it was part of her body. It wasn't like an addition to, it wasn't like sticking off her skin or anything. So I just wanted to address that and be responsible, because I think it's good to share this information. I can't say that if your bearded dragon has a random orange spot that you need to like immediately panic, but I think it's a good idea to go to your vet and see if they can biopsy it, or if your vet is concerned about it at all. Of course, like, use your best judgment, use your vet's best judgment. I did not think anything of Nova's. Like, I was originally concerned like a year ago when I first saw them, and then of course like I did some Googling and I couldn't find anything, and I asked my friend India. Also, this is no fault to India, because I just wanted to chat with somebody and she was available at the time. But I was like, I've never heard of anything like this. And so because of that, I feel like the responsibility is on my end to say something. And Gabby has talked about it on the rescue page. I will include that post on screen throughout this video and down below so you guys can check it out. But I don't know if this is what happened with Nova. I don't know if she had this cancer. It's an untreatable cancer, by the way. Like, it's just, the bearded dragon just has to live with it until the end, or until their quality of life is poor, and then you can choose to euthanize, but there's nothing to be done. So if that was the scenario, you know, even though I was wrong for having not thought more of it and brought it up with my vet and had a biopsy myself, even if I had done those things, there would have been nothing I could have done to prevent it. And I also want to talk about it here because 5 is very young for a bearded dragon to die, especially one, and I don't want to like toot my own horn here or anything, because I could have done something wrong, but my UVB levels were perfect. Like I said, I had a solarmeter that I got for Christmas, and her UVB was perfect. Her hotspot was always perfect. She had normal poops. She had a great appetite. She had just come out of brumation, and she's brumated every year, and she's done fine doing so. She was in a spacious enclosure. She had a varied diet. She had seen my vet before multiple times. So in terms of like, you know, when we see some bearded dragons not live a long life, it's usually because of like neglect. But I think what we're seeing more of now is bearded dragons not living super long because issues when it comes to genetics as well as husbandry. This is something that my vet talked about back when Franklin had died of cancer. Well, I had him euthanized because he had cancer. And my vet was saying she's just not seeing bearded dragons live as long as they used to. This is something that I've seen a bearded dragon rescue that I follow, SW Sutherland's. I've mentioned them here before, but they also, you know, they rescue bearded dragons, and they have said they see less and less longevity in bearded dragons, and they also see more issues that are being passed genetically, whether it be because of a problematic morph or because of inbreeding. But I wanted to be very responsible with my platform. I didn't just want to sit on this potential information that something might have gone wrong with Nova and think like, oh, it could be that or it might not be that, so I won't share it. No, I want to share it because if it's something that can help you or your bearded dragon, I think you deserve to have that information. And I would feel bad if, like, I find out someone's bearded dragon had that issue and passed a similar way perhaps, and then I, you know, would be at fault for not having maybe spoken up about it. I hope that that offers some sort of clarity for people. It doesn't really do too much for me because I don't know, but it's an option, it's a possibility, and I would love if you all have bearded dragons out there that you can just don't make the same mistake that I did. Oof, I don't want to cry. Whew. Don't make the same mistake that I did. You know, if anything just seems a little off, anything, go to the vet. Because then at least, you know, even if there's nothing you can do about it, you'll know. And you would have put the effort into it. If your bearded dragon suddenly develops orange spots, especially if they're already an adult, go to the vet. That's all. I want to thank you all for your extremely kind, compassionate, understanding words about Nova and about my mental health situation and about just, you know, how I haven't been doing the best. Sorry, my crystal was knocked over, so I had to fix it. I appreciate all of you. Like, the response has been astounding. I always get really nervous to share when a pet dies online because then I have to grieve like a second, a third, and a fourth time, you know, each time I get messages on a platform, or, you know, I have to post a video or anything like that. And I know it's like the responsible thing to do, which is why I do it, but it doesn't make it any less painful to have to grieve multiple times, and then also to see other people grieve because other people have like that animal. So that makes it really hard. Even so, you guys made that process very easy for me because you were all so compassionate, and I really appreciate it. So I want to thank you. Also, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys whenever, next time, whenever that is. Bye.